I'm here, man. Thank you very much. We do have another game from Adult Swim Games, and with me I have Justin. So, Justin, before we get started, can you just introduce yourself as well as the game that we're going to be looking at?
Yeah, hey. So, my name is Justin, as you already know by now. Yeah, I'm working with Adult Swim Games, and the name of my game is Katana ZerO. And it's sort of like a neo-noir action platformer. It's very difficult. Basically, it's one of those games where you're going to die a lot. So hopefully I'm not going to die too much.
So is there a lot of rage when you play this game because you die so much, or do you just get used to it?
Yeah, I mean, I got used to it, but there's a lot of rage when seeing other people die a lot. So
okay.
There's rage in some form always. But yeah, this is one of those games where everyone dies in one hit. You, the enemies, it's difficult.
All right, then let's actually jump right into it because I really want to see what the actual gameplay looks like. So we can pull that up in just a second, and then you can walk us through whatever is happening.
All right, cool. So I'm going to boot up the demo right here.
All right, sounds good. All right, so what are we looking at here?
Well, it looks like a dark screen to me, but I can actually follow on this one.
Yeah, it's a little darker on the main screen.
Yeah, so this is just a little intro cinematic. This is your main character. You just killed 2 guys on a roof, so you're already kind of getting introduced to the violence of this game.
Okay, there is dialogue.
Yeah, so here's a little dialogue sequence. You'll notice it's kind of reminiscent of Telltale games.
Yeah. So does that mean, like, based on the choices that you make, does the story change at all?
Yes, it does. And I just find that this is a much better way to go through cinematics than traditional cinematics because
where it just
traditional
plays where you don't have any
horribly boring. So
and this
I'm
way
not
you
a fan
get
of
some
this.
influence over what's actually happening.
Yeah. So it seems that the demo has stopped.
All right. Well, we can fix that, but in the meantime, we can talk a little bit more about what you were just talking about.
Yeah.
So in terms of the choices that you make, does that mean that there's like a whole different, I guess, range of endings or like storylines that you can follow?
Yeah, it's mostly within the character things. You know, if you've ever played the Walking Dead games.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, it's sort of similar where there's a beginning and an end, and those are always going to be the same. Your dialogue choices change, and you might end up in some different places in the middle, and different people will be alive or dead.
Yeah.
And it'll feel like everything that you do really has a big impact on the story.
Okay.
Which I really like. But there is definitely going to be a definite ending and a definite beginning. Maybe like a little secret thing if you do all the right path choices or something.
Interesting, okay.
Or, you know, you're a terrible person throughout the game.
And I know that you can't talk about the story, but is there like a bone you can throw to us? Because I personally love, like, to me, when I play a game, like, the story is such a big part of that.
Yeah. Okay. So the game story is definitely, it's non-linear, but it makes sense in the context of the game, because in the game, you sort of take this drug that allows you to predict the future.
Interesting.
And that's one of the main mechanics, actually. I'm just going to tell the people in the feed to press F4 to go to full screen.
F4, guys.
I might have to start the build.
Okay.
F4?
You guys press F4 once you... All right.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So you take this drug called Cronus, which the build will actually show you. And what it does is allows you to predict the future. Since in traditional platforming games, what I always hated was when you die, you restart the beginning of the level and there's really no consequences.
Yeah. So there's a penalty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's not exactly a penalty, but what happens is when you die, you're not really playing the level, but you're actually planning it out using this drug.
Interesting.
Because you can predict the future. And so when you die, you realize, wait a second, no, this plan of action won't really work.
Yeah.
So then it'll rewind, and then you'll start from the beginning and try a different plan of action.
Okay.
And because you're actually planning it out and you're not doing it live,
you
have the ability to concentrate very hard on specific moments, and in doing so, you can actually slow down time and, you know, focus on much more complex maneuvers for those short times. Yeah.
This is really different from how it usually works in most games. So hopefully we can take a look at what that actually looks like once we get the gameplay to be pulled back up. But in terms of, like, I know that you said that you've already played so many hours of this game. You've already said that it is quite difficult.
Yeah.
So in terms of, like, as a player, as I'm starting to play this game, in what ways do you get better? You just learn to plan better, or is it mechanics? Or
Honestly, it's one of those very hard games where, as you get a better grip on the mechanics, you'll definitely do a lot better. I remember I was playing Hotline Miami a long time ago.
Yeah.
That's one of those games that is just extremely difficult. And as you play more, you just kind of realize that you're getting better, but you can't really Yeah, you can't really put your finger on why you're getting better. You just can suddenly kill things a lot better. You're a lot more efficient, everything.
All right.
Okay. So
well, awesome. We do have the gameplay pulled back up here, so we can take a look at everything that you have been talking to us about.
So here's going to be another cutscene.
Okay.
So this is just a cutscene to kind of explain everything that I just went over.
Chronos that you had been mentioning, the drug, yeah.
And so the thing about the drug is because, like, with the mechanics, it makes sense for the rewinding and going back and forth and slowing down time, but also ties itself into the story wherein you start losing track of your own timeline because you keep taking this thing.
Yeah.
And it gives for a lot of really interesting, inconsistent narration.
Interesting,
and non-linear plot line, which actually makes sense to tell non-linearly because of this.
Yeah, because of the
drug.
way, yeah.
Yeah.
So when the game begins, as the player, are you given any introduction to who you are at all, or
no,
you just find out as you play?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
actually,
really cool. Okay.
Since it is a neo-noir game, intrigue is definitely a huge part of it.
Yeah, yeah.
And one thing that I always loved about the noir film genre is that you never really know the motivations of characters.
Yeah.
Until you're pretty much at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So that's something that I kind of wanted to capture here. So I'm going to go ahead and start playing a little bit of this game.
Yeah.
You can see mechanics. You can slash. You can roll dodge. You can throw things.
Oh, wow.
It's very brutally violent. So right now, right now I'm just kind of planning it out. And you see now that I've completed the level, then I actually get to see the security tape footage of me going out and doing everything in real time.
So that's why at the end it says, yes, that should work, as in this plan worked.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so because of security tape footage, I can rewind, I can fast forward, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and check out the next level.
All right, awesome. So as a player, you can, if you had a particularly difficult mission, you can get a recap of how awesome all your moves were.
That's also nice because since I can slow down time and do more complex maneuvers, I get to see that all in real time at the end.
So when you say like complex maneuvers, is that like a combination of hitting different keys?
Well, I'll show you right here.
All right.
Look at this. See, I just bounced back that bullet.
Wow. Okay.
So actually, I haven't died yet, so you haven't gotten to see the cool rewind feature. But
apparently, you're too good at this game.
Yeah. Which is it is quite a difficult game. I'm making it look a lot easier than it is.
Well, about how many hours do you think you've put into playing this game?
You know, honestly, it's a gross amount. I wouldn't want to
talk. It's a gross amount.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to talk about it.
I mean, we're all gamers here. There's no shame.
Yeah. But I've died now, so you can see that
awesome.
I said that this plan won't work. So now I get to rewind and I'll start all over again.
Oh,
and I'm gonna give a few more interesting things here. So yeah, you can roll around and dodge bullets.
Yeah.
But you know, if there's a hailfire bullets, you can't really do too much about that.
So in terms of you know, you've already shown us different ways, but how many different ways can you actually kill your opponents or enemies rather?
So that one was the main one, just slashing.
Okay.
Reversing bullets.
That is super cool. Where it's like the Matrix, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bullet time.
Yeah.
But it actually makes sense in the context, so I like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully I'm actually gonna get through this level.
Okay. We can give you some time to concentrate if you want.
Yeah, thanks. So there's a lot of blood pooling at the bottom of that stairwell.
Yeah, because you already killed a lot of guys there.
Yeah, so there's a shotgun guy who's very dangerous, but I'm just going to try to... There we go.
That's the shotgun guy?
Well, the shotgun guy is dead now.
Okay, okay, that was the other guy. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you can take the bullet and have it go back to the enemy that shot at you, and you can also slash.
Yeah, you can throw things. There's not in this build, but there's going to be a lot of environmental kills where maybe... you
can use like things in the actual environment itself? Okay.
Like maybe there'll be like a large mansion level and there's a big chandelier over a bunch of enemies. Then you can find a way to cut the chandelier down and crush them.
Ah, okay, okay. So it's not just pure melee, go ham. It's... All right.
Yeah, there's I'm trying to strike a good balance in between, you know... like a lot of acrobatic, fast-paced combat, and actually planning out through a level and trying to figure out what the level designer is trying to do.
Yeah.
But I do like giving the player a lot of tools in order to, you know, find their own way through the level.
Yeah.
Make it sort of like a puzzle game in that aspect.
Yeah. And this is what you had been saying, where it's like the more interactive cutscenes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it is very much like the Telltale games where you have a list of choices, but I also gave the ability to interrupt people. Right now I'm actually in a loop where I keep struggling and he keeps telling me that I'm not going to go, so this is a good time to talk about it. But you see I have red choices, which are usually different from my full choices.
Yeah.
And that I can interrupt the person who's talking. And in doing so, that can actually give me new dialogue choices. It can enrage the person who's talking. If they're like in shock, then it can snap them out of shock sometimes. So interrupting actually becomes a big part of the dialogue. And it's also interesting because you lose crucial plot points when you interrupt people because you can't even figure out what they're saying.
Yeah. Your hair is so stupid.
Yeah. And most of the time they're like insults. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's actually the end of the demo, as you can see in this kind of snarky way I've ended it.
Yeah. Well, that was super cool.
Yeah,
but,
thank you.
I mean, for everyone that is watching, if they wanted to learn more about the game, where would they go in terms of like a website, Twitter, things like that?
Yeah. So it actually hasn't been properly announced, but we do have a Twitter page, which should be at the bottom of the screen somewhere. The development studio is ASCII Soft, and we're being published by Adult Swim Games.
Okay.
So yeah, just check us out on the internet. I make periodic updates and posts about the game, so should be able to follow that. And as things start rolling, there'll be demos and videos.
Yeah.
The things people love.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Justin, for your time. I'm really looking forward to that game. And of course, guys, we have a lot more gaming content coming up here at the Twitch booth at PAX Prime 2015, so don't go anywhere.